YouTube and Auburn fan base nation, go ahead and like this video. Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast, talking Auburn football. Like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. The past few days have given some type of indication that Auburn might be a little bit on the okay side this year. Now, I'm not going to be one of those that automatically is talking a double-digit win season. Neither am I going to go off and jump over the ledge of the Haley Center and say that Auburn is going to win even the SEC West. But my optimism for Auburn football is, one, you got kids that are coming in. Of course, the transfer portal is a little bit different than it was in the past, so that we don't want to overly credit the effort, but we also don't want to take anything away. And I think Brian Harsin, considering all things in his own right, we're not talking about in comparison to Gus Malzahn, because that's really not, there's really no point in doing that at this point. Gus Malzahn has moved on to what he feels are greener pastures at UCF. And now, you know, I think we can cut the departure umbilical cord on Gus Malzahn and just be done. Hey, he's a former Auburn coach. He did this, won a SEC championship game, made it to the national championship, won a couple of SEC West titles. Now it's time to move on to Brian Harsin and focus our attention on what he can bring to the table. One thing that I can say, at least from a perceptual standpoint, is he appears to be pretty aggressive when it comes to targeting recruits. I think the recruit Drayshawn Miller out of West Virginia was very vital for this particular team, especially the secondary, to add some depth. And then you talk about the guys that are leaving. You know, Marco DeMio leaving. You know, those types of things that a lot of fans talk about the guys coming in, but you got to account for the attrition that has let out. You know, you lost a pretty decent portion of your defensive line. You know, Big Cat Bryant leaves. Daquan Newkirk leaves. Cornice Miller leaves. Those are three guys that are very serviceable. If not, you know, could possibly be developed into impact players. You don't have that no more. So that's why you got to depend on transfer portals, junior college market, especially in the onset of your career as a head coach. Because usually, especially Power 5, you're walking into a lot of action. You're talking about having to hire, hopefully you hire the best staff pretty quickly. Piece together the spring football, because, I mean, they hired him pretty late. It wasn't a situation where he had a lot of time to think. Leaving Boise State, a place that he was obviously comfortable with, 69-19 as a head coach. I think that's pretty damn good. I don't give a damn where you coach. Okay? So, let's go into, really quickly though, I want to make this one quick tonight. Let's go into some places of concern that I have for Auburn to be able to really have that first year of really, really great success. And there's some position groups that I'm really concerned about. The first position group is the obvious one, is the ding, ding, ding one, the offensive line. In the spring game, I still continued to see the offensive tackle getting beat off of the first step. Romello Height, this was against the second team. Romello Height, defensive end from, I think, Dublin, Georgia, who Auburn actually flipped from Miami. I mean, you could just see him beating the offensive tackle right off the first step. And that has been a cause of concern as to why a lot of the fans are actually pumping the brakes on the idea of instant success for Brian Harsin. The premise is, if you can't protect Bo Nix, if you can't get him kind of sort of at ease from a trust standpoint, with his offensive line, then, I mean, that could spell a little trouble for the Tigers. Because you got a lot of teams in the SEC, especially. Not sure what Penn State. We're going to do a little research on Penn State to see what the skinny is in State College, Pennsylvania. But either way, a lot of really good defensive lines in the SEC. And in power football in general. And your offensive line just has to be, you know, I'm not saying they have to be elite. Be nice if they were. But at this point, a little above average would be okay. You know? And I think that would be enough to sustain. But I'm not sure with all that is there, I'm not sure if Auburn can even be a slightly above average offensive line. Another position group that concerns me very, very equally to the offensive line is the wide receiver group. Now, I don't think they lack the talent at all. I think you got a little bit more so of experience and actual skill set. I think now with college football the way it is, the speed of linebackers, elite abilities of cornerbacks, especially those cornerbacks who played that true position through high school and his league. Yeah, I mean, you got to be good at wide receiver now. I mean, the days of the strictly possession receiver, I mean, I'm not saying that it's over at all. I think that's a very irresponsible and naive thing to say. But you got to have some get up and go about you. Some breakaway speed. Now, to defend these guys, I don't know if they've been given the right opportunity to do so. As far as breakaway speed, as far as breakaway routes, that's what we're going to have to see. That's why I'm concerned with it. Last but not least, red zone scoring concerns me. I think, you know, if Auburn is going to be successful, you take red zone scoring into some level of consideration. Auburn you're probably still stuck with Gus Malzahn. If they could just score in the red zone, that would have been the difference between an 8-5 season and maybe a 10-3 season. Who knows? But red zone scoring has to change. That's just a quick one that I got tonight. I'm gonna let my voice rest because I can feel myself losing my voice again. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.